The highly anticipated battle between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero is finally over, and here are the pros' reactions.
By Ryan Garcia's performance tonight, a fantastic victory for Rolando Romero. Almost made it look kind of easy.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. I was surprised how he, I think he just never recovered from that check hook that Rolly did on him. So, you know, I think he was too hesitant, and maybe the hunger is not there like it should be for Ryan Garcia. But hopefully he gets back on his feet. And hopefully we still see the rematch between himself and Devin Haney.
You were super outgoing all fight week. I asked Ryan in the build-up, I said, is it hard when you're doing big podcasts or having a go at each other to focus on your opponent? You seem like the only one who maybe kept that focus in there. What was the whole build-up like for you? This was different, right?
It's our job. It's our job to entertain everyone, all of you that are watching. It's our job to give everybody a show. I mean, we're having so many people cross over. We had 200 or 300 special talent guests around watching us fight tonight in the ring. So you got to live up to it. You have to. And I'm that type of person that always wants to exceed to those expectations.
Hey Ryan, keep your hands up, Ryan. Let's go. Keep your hands up. Stay calm and relax, nigga. Relax, Ryan.
Relax, Ryan. Good job, baby. Delicate. The double on that straight up in the air.
Damn.
Yo, Keyshawn, what do you think? What happened?
I thought he was gonna stop. Yo, I thought that box too.
I'm at the judges' table.
I know you didn't see Ryan's fight, but you know he obviously lost.
Yeah.
Devin won. Like, you think there's still interest to see that?
Look.
So there's interest more to see that fight with Haney.
Anthony Joshua lost his last fight, and so did Fury. And if they fight each other, it's gonna be huge. So Haney versus Garcia is still gonna be a big fight. I think they should do it. Still big.
When I go back to Ryan Garcia really quickly, you talked about it's just bad matchmaking. Is a lot of this pro fight game stuff just as important for the matchmaker to be just as astute at his job as it is the fighter?
Absolutely. But you know, you can't blame, without knowing the background, you can't blame anybody, because it may very well be that the people at Golden Boy were telling Garcia, don't go into a fight like this, take a tune-up fight, get yourself back in the ring and so forth. I mean, anybody who knows boxing would tell Garcia that's what he should do. But I guess the money that Turkey put up was so big that they decided to go for the money. But that doesn't make any sense.
And we saw this before last summer with Big Baby, kind of a similar thing. Is this money that's being thrown at these fighters to the detriment of their careers, and they're not realizing it?
It could be
yet?
to the detriment of the career, because the fighters look at the money, and that's all they care about, and they don't realize that maybe you don't take a fight that you shouldn't take. I mean, Big Baby was so unprepared for Bacoli that it was a joke. We told him, you know, we were against the fight. Our matchmakers were against the fight. But, you know, this was a multi-million-dollar purse, and Big Baby insisted on taking it, and Bacoli knocked him out, you know? So sometimes you can't blame the matchmakers or promoters. Sometimes it's the fighter who's blinded with the money.
Virgil, what's up, champ? Just got to get your reaction. What do you think about that Rolly win?
He deserved it. You know, Ryan just wasn't active enough. Rolly was landing more punches. There wasn't really a whole lot to go off of, but Rolly was more effective.
Are you surprised by the dub? No. So you thought Rolly could pull it off?
I didn't know who was gonna win. If I'm being, I thought it was gonna end in a knockout by either way. But I didn't know who. But I'm surprised that it went to the distance.
Were you shocked when he got dropped?
No, because Rolly hits hard.
These were strange fights. A couple of them, you know. But it was great to be back doing blow by blow. Had a fantastic time with Antonio Tarver. Had a fantastic time with Mike Coppinger. I wish that there had been more action. It's quite unbelievable. CompuBox has counted punches in 15,000 fights. Wow. 2 of those fights are now among the 5 fights with the lowest number of punches ever. Okay? Wow. So you're looking at 2 of the 5 lowest punch output fights in a 15,000 fight catalog. That's unreal. These are supposed to be action fighters. You know? And you would have thought that Garcia would have recognized from the midpoint of the fight on that he had to generate more activity. Yes. But he didn't. Derek James yelled at him, tried to get him to do it, etc., etc. Fighters are unusual human beings. They don't always do what we expect them to do. Rolly Romero moved up in weight, put on a lot of muscle, looked spectacular in there, and had a plan and executed. Won the fight.
Definitely. Man, it was cool. You know. Yeah, we sat here for all 3 fights. You know, it was alright though.
What do you think about Ryan? Where does he go from here after this loss?
I don't know. It looking like everybody got to go back to the scoreboard. You know, I feel like Rolly. You know, I like the way he, the both boards. To the both boards they got. Yeah. I feel like I like the way Rolly took his time. He picked his shots and stuff like that. You know, that was my take of the whole night. You know, that was the best part of the night. Just watching Rolly take his time, pick his shots. You know, he was strong for sure. You know, but we knew that.
Was it the layoff? You think the year layoff? He wasn't active.
I don't know.
Or he just doesn't want it.
I don't know what it is. I can't say. You know, I wasn't in his camp or nothing like that. But you know, it could be a few things. You know, some people say it was a PEDs. So you know, you got to get back.
Definitely. Now talking about Devin Haney, what did you think about his performance?
I feel like everybody could have did a little bit better. You know, we seen all of them perform better.
Yeah,
you know,
that was another year layoff, so maybe that affected him.
Right, possibly.
Yeah.
Eddie, just your reaction, man.
I can't believe it. I mean, I said this kind of environment, like sometimes it can just. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean,
flabbergasted.
Ryan and Devin just dropped the bag like the biggest bag drop you've ever seen. I mean, you know, tonight was going to be those 2 in the ring facing off for the big rematch.
It's done?
Can't believe it.
Is it Rolly versus Devin next?
About it. I mean, but listen, props to Rolly, but Ryan just didn't turn up at all. And you know, he didn't really try and win the fight, did he? I mean, I know he got buzzed early. It wasn't a really heavy knockdown, but he just let the fight pass him by. It's crazy.
Before the fight, the boxing pros had a different opinion on the matchup. Ahead of the bout, Canelo Alvarez confidently forecasted a one-sided triumph for Ryan Garcia, expressing certainty that Garcia would secure a decisive finish by knocking out Rolando Rolly Romero.
Ryan Garcia again, what's your prediction for his fight on Friday night?
He's gonna win. He's gonna win by knockout.
Thank you.
Before the fight, Showbiz the Adult weighed in on the matchup as well, noting that Ryan Garcia appeared more physically imposing and remained intensely focused heading into the fight as compared to his adversary. Emphasizing Garcia's punching power, he suggested that Ryan held a clear advantage, both in size and striking capability, making him a legitimate threat to overpower Rolando Romero.
I just think that Ryan Garcia right now seems to be focused and solid. Who's the puncher in that fight? Ryan, believe it or not. And I saw both of them in the same room, staring each other down. Ryan is so much bigger than Rolly. Let me give you some insight. When Rolly left, Ryan was still there. And I heard him say to his father, I think, he said, he's not big anymore, right? Like, I'm bigger than him. And they said, yeah, you are. It was obvious Ryan was big. But he looked and was like, because it's almost like he has to size himself up against him since they were kids sparring, where Rolly was bigger than him then. So when they stood up against each other, Ryan was like, wait, he doesn't seem that big. And they were like, no, you're bigger than him. Ryan was obviously bigger.
In the lead up to the clash, Sean Porter also backed Ryan Garcia to deliver a commanding performance and decisively handle Rolando Romero, reflecting on both fighters' past defeats to Gervonta Davis. Porter pointed out that the experience likely served as a learning curve, with hopes that each would return to the ring sharpened and more refined for their showdown.
Think Ryan cleans up Rolly? I do
think he wins the fight. Yeah,
I think for both fighters obviously the common opponent right there. I think that both fighters. Obviously, Ryan just fought Tank. I think he'll be better since fighting Tank.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with Rolly. I think Rolly became better from fighting Tank. I think that they knew certain mistakes that they made. I think they believed in their game plan. Got us all to believe in their game plan. I think they came to this fight with the right adjustments, but took it too far, I guess, for the sake of words. But I think that they'll both be better.
Yeah.
And their fight against one another, I don't know how to.
They're both super raw.
However, during the build-up, Sergio Mora had predicted that the bout would end with one of the fighters getting caught clean, expecting an explosive conclusion rather than a drawn-out contest. He had envisioned the fight wrapping up within 5 to 6 rounds, ruling out the possibility of it going the distance.
Rolly Romero comes to knock people out. You know, he has some holes in his defense. I think it's going to be a short, explosive fight where either of them could get hurt, because Garcia's vulnerable defensively as well.
Ryan says 4 rounds, and he's out.
There you go, see? I was going to say 5, but yeah, man.
I've been hearing 4 and 5 from a lot of fans, either way, whether it's Rolly or
That fight
Ryan.
doesn't go into the second half. Too much firepower, you know, too much defensive flaws as well from both these guys. So yeah, man, I think it ends under 5 or 6 rounds easily, but it's gonna be exciting. Both these guys are vulnerable defensively. That's the thing. Ryan Garcia is explosive. He has speed. He has power. So does Rolly. Both of them have bad defense. Someone's getting knocked out. I think the odds are Rolly's getting stopped.
Just like Sergio, Mikey Garcia had anticipated that Rolando Romero would bring his best to the ring, but had ultimately predicted a victory for Ryan Garcia. He had acknowledged Romero's aggressive style, but believed that Ryan would capitalize on it, catch him with a decisive shot, and bring the fight to a halt.
Exciting matchup.
You're gonna be there, obviously.
Yeah, we'll be there. And I know Rolly's gonna come to fight, because he always does. I still think Ryan is gonna win. I think he's gonna catch him, and he'll probably catch Rolly's and probably win. But Rolly's is down. He's aggressive. He's down to fight. He ain't afraid.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that too.
All right. Who do you got with that fight?
I think Ryan. I think Ryan catches him and wins. I think he probably stops him. He can probably stop him.
Before the fight, Teddy Atlas had picked Ryan Garcia to come out on top, pointing to Garcia's previous success on the big stage, a level where Rolando Romero had yet to prove himself. Atlas had emphasized the importance of mental preparedness for Garcia, noting that Ryan had already demonstrated the ability to rise to the next level when the moment demanded it.
Ryan, it's all about Ryan for me. He's got the talent. It's all about mentally, is he in the right place? Is he in the right frame of mind? And I think that he is. I mean, I don't know for certain, but from all accounts that I've heard, it seems like he's in a stable place. And if he is, I'm gonna go with him, because they're both talented. But again, I think Ryan has shown he can take his talent and win at that next level.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn had predicted a clear victory for Ryan Garcia and asserted that Rolando Romero stood little chance in the matchup. He had acknowledged that more challenging opponents were available, but viewed Romero as a strategic choice, valuable for generating buzz, drawing attention, and boosting pay-per-view numbers.
How do you think that fight goes between Ryan and Rolly? Do you think Rolly's got a chance? Because obviously, yeah, most people say he doesn't.
But I like Rolly. I think he's that all these kind of fights, he come to me and, he asked me my opinion on that fight, or the Riyadh season team. And I said, Rolly's a great character. There are tougher fights for Ryan, but Rolly is a character. He can fight. Do you know what I mean? But he's also entertaining.
Certainly.
And if you want eyeballs, you want pay-per-view, I think Rolly is a good option.
Ahead of the bout, Robert Garcia weighed in on his prediction, favoring Ryan for his remarkable speed and the power of his left hook. He acknowledged that while Rolly Romero is certainly game enough to put up a good fight and go the distance, he believes that ultimately, Ryan's devastating left hook will connect and hurt Romero significantly.
I think Ryan.
Why?
Yeah, he's just fast and has a tremendous left hook. So I think it's a competitive fight, and I think Rolly is game enough to put up a good fight and go till the end.
But I think eventually Ryan lands that left hook and probably hurts him.
Oscar De La Hoya had predicted a swift and entertaining victory for Ryan Garcia as well, envisioning a high-action contest that would last no more than 4 rounds. He had expected an intense firefight with punches flying early, but remained confident that Garcia would manage the danger effectively, noting that even heavy shots could be evaded or blocked.
Well, you have big punchers who throw, those are easy to block. All you gotta do is be calm, stay collective, and do your job. That's it. So I think Ryan, it's gonna be a fun, short fight. It's gonna be a fun 4-round fight.
4 rounds.
I believe so.
So majority of people I've spoken to have told me 4 to 6, 4 to 6. Why? Why so short?
It's gonna be at a high pace, and both fighters can bang. Hey, Rollies can land a punch. You never know. But I think the punches that are gonna be flying inside that ring is going to make it for a short night.
Before the fight, Gervonta Tank Davis predicted an explosive outcome. He believed the fight would not go the distance, stating that with both fighters' power and aggressive styles, someone was bound to be knocked down. However, Davis warned against underestimating Rolly's power, admitting that when he took shots from Romero, it felt as if he was getting hit with a brick.
Hopefully for the sake of Rolly, he pulled it off, but it's going to be a good fight. No? You think? Huh?
Someone's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody get knocked out.
Who hit a little harder though? Was it Ryan or was it Rolly? Because they both clearly.
I ain't gonna lie, Rolly hit hard.
Yeah.
People be sleeping on Rolly because he been obviously I don't know how to say it, obviously, but yeah, if he don't got no chin now, so Rolly be getting caught, but Rolly. Can hit, bro. Like he can hit. When he's the only person I felt like when he swung, it felt like bricks was in his hood.
On the other hand, former super featherweight title holder and ex-pro boxer Jeff Mayweather had anticipated a competitive fight, acknowledging that Rolando Romero would carry a puncher's chance into the ring. While he had recognized Ryan Garcia as the more complete and technically skilled fighter, Mayweather had ultimately sided with Rolly Romero, citing their personal friendship as the reason behind his pick.
Rolly definitely has a puncher's chance. I mean, he's a very big puncher, and Ryan's a big puncher as well, so it's another one of those fights that is close to pick who's gonna win. I'm going with Rolly because I know him and he's a friend of mine. So.
However, Jeff also stated that if there was not a personal connection with Romero and he had to pick on skills alone, he would probably pick Ryan Garcia as his choice.
Who would you pick to be the winner?
I would pick probably Ryan.
Prior to the fight, Fernando Vargas had sided with Ryan Garcia to win by knockout, expressing full confidence that the fight would not extend beyond the 6th round. He had believed that Garcia possessed the tools to close the show early.
I got Ryan. Yeah, gotta go with Ryan. Which way?
By knockout.
By knockout, what round?
I don't think it goes past 6.
Being a well-renowned and respected boxing trainer, Greg Hackett gave the edge to Ryan Garcia as well, stating that he appears to be a bit sharper than Rolando Romero. Despite that, he pointed out that both fighters have a tendency to reach a point in their fights where they start throwing wild, chaotic punches.
Ryan a little sharper than Rolly, but when I say wild, I'm talking about they get to that point where they just throwing crazy shit. This is gonna be one of the most entertaining fights we've seen in a long time. Real rap. They too dickhead.
Prior to the fight, boxing star Teofimo Lopez had forecast a win for Ryan Garcia over Rolando Rolly Romero, emphasizing that Garcia has not stepped into the ring like this in a long time after his previous stoppage.
I got Ryan Garcia.
Why?
Yeah, I just think that from that fight and since then, he hasn't been fighting for that long of a period, and then being stopped the way he was. I think he might be changing trainers, or he might still be with Salas, but even then, but I think it's gonna be a great matchup. I think Ryan needs to be careful with Rolly's punching power, because Rolly still got power, man, and definitely could do something to Ryan with those shots.
Before the fight, boxing trainer Jamie Robinson had expected Garcia to secure a knockout victory after the 7th round. Robinson had believed that Garcia's speed and power would gradually wear Romero down as the bout progressed, ultimately resulting in a late stoppage.
Ryan Garcia by KO after 7.
In the lead up to the clash, WBA Continental Gold Champion Ernesto Mercado had considered the matchup against Rolando Romero to be a more favorable one for Ryan Garcia. He had predicted that Ryan would secure a knockout victory, while also anticipating significant hype and fanfare surrounding the event.
I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. I think Ryan's gonna knock him out, but the whole build up to that fight, I think they're definitely gonna be able to sell a lot, just because they both got a unique personality, per se.
The infamous Andrew Tate had also weighed in before the fight, but did not choose a side out of respect for both competitors. Instead, he had wished for an exciting event. However, Tate hadn't ignored Ryan Garcia's blazing hand speed, highlighting how lightning-fast punches are the most dangerous, especially when they're too quick to see. Tate acknowledged a personal connection with Garcia, noting their friendship and pointing out that punches as fast as Ryan's tend to do the most damage.
Bro, I don't want to disrespect anyone. I want to wish everybody the absolute best. I hope everybody gets in there, has a great time, leaves happy, healthy, a little bit richer. But Ryan's quick, man. I'll just tell you something. Like, I remember from my fight days, I'm a bit old now, but I'm scared of the guy whose hands you can't see. Those are the ones to be afraid of.
Because they're all good fighters, right? Ryan's clearly your favorite.
They're all fantastic fighters. Ryan and I are good friends, you know, so we have a personal relationship there. But I don't want to wish disrespect on anybody, or I don't want to jinx anybody. I just hope everybody has a great time. But I think when you can't see it coming, that's when it hurts.
In the build-up to the fight, legendary boxing cutman Vic Cutman placed his confidence in Ryan Garcia, believing that Ryan would win even as he maintained a genuine fondness for Rolly.
Rolly, when he was with Bullet, had a certain fighting style. They tried to change that fighting style and turn him into a boxer. He's not a boxer. They took away a power puncher's power and his belief in himself. And that's why I believe that Ryan Garcia all day long. And I like Rolly.
How did you see the fight and what were your predictions? Who was your favorite fighter? We would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments section below, and if you enjoyed the reactions, like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on all things boxing. We will see you in the next exciting video with more updates.